A mini Land Cruiser has just been revealed, and it's not the cute urban SUV you thought it would be. Yeah, it's a tiny monster with the same climbing and weighting capabilities as the real Land Cruiser, enough to leave any Korean or European hybrid SUV in the dust. And the unexpected twist. This car could shatter the trust that Korean and Spanish consumers once placed in brands like Hyundai and Seat, names that were once invincible in the small SUV segment. Is this a quiet but brutal takeover by Toyota? Or is it the first shot in a global small SUV war? Rugged platform power. You thought this was just a cute mini SUV running on the friendly Corolla platform. Completely wrong. Forget all prejudices because Toyota has just quietly dropped a genuine ladder frame monster into the playground. Something that even Jimny has to hide, while small SUVs from Hyundai or Seat can only gape. Not Corolla, not a crossover, but the famous F platform. Something reserved only for Toyota's off-road superhero lineup, from the new generation 4Runner Land Cruiser J250 GX to Tacoma. All names that can swallow hills, climb mountains, and overcome floods without breaking a sweat. With an extremely durable body-on-frame structure, a true four-wheel drive system, and a terrifying ground clearance, this mini Land Cruiser was born not to be displayed in a shopping mall, but to conquer deserts, jungles, and even steep ice and snow. I know what you're thinking. How can it be so small? But here's the shocker. According to engineers, the entry-level model could be powered by a turbocharged hybrid engine with more torque than the diesel Hilux, and its off-road capabilities have been tested in the same harsh conditions as northern Alberta and the Gobi Desert. In South Korea, where urban SUVs like the Casper and Kona dominate the market, a mini Land Cruiser would tear the segment apart. And in Spain, a market flooded with Seat Aronas and Dacia Dusters, people would think twice about seeing a mobile piece of iron running through the countryside without even needing a road. Retro-style modern edge. Don't let the size fool you. At first glance, it may look like a retro box reminiscent of the legendary 20 and 40 series Land Cruisers, but inside it is the heart of a new generation off-road beast. And yes, you heard right, it's almost as small as a Toyota Corolla, but it can rip through the wind and climb hills like a true off-road SUV. Can you imagine a car with a nostalgic body, but equipped with an exciting driving feeling and excellent grip? Things that the Suzuki Jimny can only dream of. And here's something that might give you goosebumps. If Japanese sources are to be believed, this mini Land Cruiser will have a 4WD variant with an off-road suspension tuned from the timeless Land Cruiser 300. Jimny slow small and now looking outdated. I think that with what Toyota is quietly preparing, Jimny will no longer be the #1 choice in Korea or Spain, markets that were once addicted to compact small SUVs. In Korea, Jimny used to be a hit because of its cuteness and versatility. But now, if Toyota launches a mini cruiser at a reasonable price with the Land Cruiser badge, showrooms in Seoul will change direction in a flash. In Spain, Jimny used to be loved by outdoor enthusiasts and island-hopping tourists. But what is classic style has top off-road capabilities and carries the Toyota logo. No one says it, but everyone knows. And the name Toyota is playing the brand secret game. No one knows what logo it will carry. There are rumors that the company will revive the FJ Cruiser badge or give each region a different name like it did with the Prado Land Cruiser 250. An ingenious strategy and very unpredictable. Engine and performance. The Toyota Mini Land Cruiser, which is rumored to be coming to Japan and Europe, could be the SUV that puts the Suzuki Jimny on the back burner, forcing Hyundai, Kia, and even Dacia to rethink their product strategies from the ground up. Underneath the Mini Land Cruiser's compact exterior is the 2TR FE heart, the legendary 2.7-liter engine that has been trusted in the Tacoma, Prado, and Hilux. With 161 bhp, 245 Nm of torque, and a choice of 6-speed manual or automatic transmissions, this is no mere city car. This is a mini off-roader, capable of pulling 1/600 kegs and tackling roads that a regular city SUV wouldn't dare to tackle. and the Jimny just 100 bhp and less than 130 Nm of torque. A simple comparison, the Mini Cruiser is almost twice as powerful. Toyota is also teasing a hybrid version using a 2.4-liter turbocharged iForce Max powertrain, combined with an electric motor producing a maximum output of up to 326 horsepower and 630 Nm of torque. That's a level of power that Korean SUVs like the Tucson Seltos or Corando can't even dream of, even surpassing many BMW or Audi models in the C-segment SUV segment. And more importantly, the estimated fuel consumption is only 4.3 liters per 100 kilometers. More economical than current popular hybrid models, but twice as powerful. If you've ever dreamed of a powerful, strong Land Cruiser but not bulky and beyond your budget, the Mini Land Cruiser is that dream. The square design classic yet modern LED lights, high chassis, steel bumpers and a spare wheel hanging from the tail looks no different from a baby Defender. The interior is simple but sturdy, easy to clean, has plenty of off-road amenities and modern connectivity features like wireless Apple CarPlay, a 360-degree camera and terrain management. And what about Korea and Spain? These are the two markets where Toyota is aiming to make its first move. In Korea, where consumers are waiting for a true compact SUV that can tackle rough terrain, the Mini Cruiser can beat models like the Kia Seltos Hyundai Casper or SsangYong Tivoli. In Spain, where the small SUV segment is growing at a rapid pace, the Mini Cruiser can overshadow the likes of the Dacia Duster Peugeot 2008 or Volkswagen T-Roc, simply because none of them are as strong, durable, and economical. Imagine the legendary Land Cruiser. Smaller, lighter, more agile, but still more powerful than the Jimny, cheaper than the Seltos, and more durable than the Dacia Duster. The question is, if the Toyota Mini Land Cruiser Hybrid is sold for less than 35,000 euros, what reason would you have to choose the Jimny or the Tucson? Would you choose a good-looking SUV or a real beast that can overcome floods, climb hills, and save fuel at the same time? It seems like there is something that has not satisfied my curiosity. Let's continue to analyze. Off-road dominance. Think compact SUVs are just for cruising around town or decorating your garage? Get ready to have all your preconceptions shattered right now. It may not need a touchscreen, but it still makes both the Jimny and Seltos lose sleep. Engine, no kidding. Toyota is targeting the 2.7-liter 2TR FE engine, which has appeared in the Tacoma, Prado, and Hilux. Three symbols of durability and towing capacity. With 161 horsepower and 245 Nm of torque, it may not roar like a turbocharged engine, but with the compact size of the Mini Cruiser, that acceleration can make any Jimny driver swallow smoke. And that's not all. Sharing the same chassis as the Land Cruiser 250, Toyota claims the Mini Cruiser will offer superior torsional rigidity, enough to withstand twists and turns that Korean city SUV rivals like the Hyundai Casper or Kia Seltos can only dream of. Want an SUV to show off its 12-inch screen and LED lights in a coffee shop? Not here. The Mini Land Cruiser is playing a reverse game, minimalist, practical, and ready to climb mountains rather than take photos. According to a leak from Japanese magazine Best Car, the interior version may not have a central touchscreen. It may sound weird in 2025, but this is what true off-roaders crave. Physical buttons, mechanical reliability, and a clutter-free design. And that's what makes the Mini Cruiser stand out from the flat SUV trend that's been dominating Spain and South Korea, where consumers are growing tired of shiny on the outside, weak on the inside crossovers. The Suzuki Jimny. Still cute, still popular, but now there's reason to worry. Toyota didn't just copy the chassis, it upgraded it, added a center cross member, reinforced the crumple zones, and is ready to integrate a hybrid powertrain as powerful as a 2.5L Camry. The Jimny tops out at 100 horsepower, a figure that's not worth comparing. The Mini Cruiser could double that while still being more fuel efficient. If Toyota rolls out the iForce Max Hybrid, the same one as the 2024 Tacoma, the Mini Cruiser could hit 326 horsepower and 630 Nm of torque, while consuming just 4.3 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. In Korea, the compact SUV segment is dominated by names like Kia Seltos, Hyundai Casper, and SsangYong Tivoli, models that lean towards modern design, rich interior technology, and urban convenience. However, when the Mini Land Cruiser appeared, it not only squeezed in but also threatened to suffocate the entire living space of this group of cars. Why? Because the Mini Cruiser hit the gap that Korean models have never filled. That is the real off-road vehicle quality. In the land of kimchi, young people are increasingly inclined to be extroverted, like camping, trekking, and light off-roading. But Seltos or Casper can only pretend to be suitable, because both use a unibody chassis, do not have a reliable four-wheel drive option, and the off-road ability is only symbolic. The Mini Land Cruiser, on the other hand, will come with a true body-on-frame chassis, like the Land Cruiser and Hilux. Optional all-wheel drive with a locking center differential. Ground clearance of more than 220 millimeters higher than the Seltos. Superior approach and departure angles allowing climbing rocks and hills without upgrading. And most importantly, it is not flashy in a showy way. No water-running LED lights, no piano black interior, no unnecessary 12-inch screen trying to impress. It is simple, durable, and feels more like a survival vehicle than a piece of technology. This is what is causing a fierce debate in the Korean car community. Is it time to return to the core values? Or is it still chasing flashiness? In Europe and especially Spain, where the mountains of the Pyrenees, the Sierra Nevada, or the wild beaches of Andalusia are a paradise for light off-roading, the demand for small SUVs is not only for city driving, but also for exploring. However, this market is currently dominated by half-baked models, such as the Peugeot 2008 Volkswagen T-Roc or Renault Captur. These models look like SUVs but are raised hatchbacks. Small engines, front-wheel drive, and absolutely no ability to climb hills or overcome rough terrain. Something that Spanish backpackers start to feel disappointed with after a while. And that is where the Mini Cruiser can become the awakener of legends. This car recalls the era when Defender Suzuki Samurais and Toyota FJ40s once roamed the Iberian Peninsula. It's not about luxury, but about freedom, and the lack of terrain. A feeling that's slowly fading in Europe. More importantly, Spain is one of the few European markets where manual transmissions are still relatively popular. The Mini Cruiser, with its optional 6-speed manual genuine off-road capabilities and accessible price, could become a new icon for adventurous young people. In a context of increasingly strict emissions policies, the hybrid Mini Cruiser expected to have a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine combined with an electric motor, 326 horsepower, 630 Newton-meters of torque is becoming an even more smart choice in Spain, where CO2 regulations are strict, but drivers still want to feel real behind the wheel. Both South Korea and Spain are entering a period of saturation of the decorative SUV model, lots of technology, but no soul. The Mini Land Cruiser may not be flashy, it may not have a big advertising campaign, but it has a real-world DNA, and that's what's missing in the market. Do you want an SUV that can talk to your phone? Or an SUV that can take you through a flash flood? Do you need 6464 color ED lights or a chassis that can take a beating? The Mini Cruiser is not for everyone, but those who choose it will never regret it. A powerful engine, a legendary platform, a boldly practical design, an interior that doesn't care about flashiness. The Mini Cruiser could be a headwind in the age of SUV comfort, and that's what makes it dangerous for the whole market. Price, release, and rivals. And if that doesn't make you sit up straight, just wait. I'm about to dive into why this car could crush the Suzuki Jimny, make the Ford Bronco Sport tremble, and completely disrupt the sub-$30,000 SUV segment. If you think numbers like 326 horsepower and 630 Newton-meters of torque are reserved for the Land Cruiser J250 or the new Tacoma, think again. Those are the exact specs for the iForce Max hybrid version that Toyota is considering for the Mini Cruiser. Imagine an SUV that's smaller than the 4Runner, but almost 3 times as powerful as the Jimny. Put it next to the Jimny, which has just over 100 horsepower, And the Mini Cruiser isn't a competitor, it's a dominator. And with a rock-solid chassis, more ground clearance than the Seltos or Bronco Sport and true 4WD, you're not just going fast, you're flying over roads that Korean or European urban SUVs wouldn't dare tread. We've been hearing the rumors since last fall coming soon. But time has passed and nothing has happened. Toyota has been silent, and that's the scary thing. However, according to reputable sources in Japan, Best Car, the global product launch event, will take place in November, and the Mini Cruiser is the name in the locker waiting to be unleashed as a big hit later this summer. If you're Spanish or Korean and looking forward to the new SUV wind, mark your calendars. Will North America get the first privilege, or is Toyota quietly taking on Asia and Europe first? The company's new strategy is to launch globally simultaneously, but with different engines and configurations for each region. In Korea, where the Casper and Seltos dominate the mini SUV segment, the Mini Cruiser's arrival will be like an earthquake. In Spain, a market that loves light terrain but has no real cars left, it is a forgotten off-road wind returning. Price people think is cheap, but don't be naive. When Toyota says the Mini Cruiser will start at 3 to 3.8 million yen, or about $20,000 to $25,500, many people's eyes light up. Sounds too good to be true, right? And yes, it can be too good to be true. Because you know, in the auto industry, you never trust 100% the first number a manufacturer releases. Announced price? Great. But actual on-road price at the dealer? That's a whole different story. Look at what happened to the Ford Maverick, the mini pickup that took the world by storm with a price tag of from $19,995. But then what? When you get to the dealer, you find yourself looking at $39,000 to over $40,000 for a decent configuration before taxes and fees. There are even dealers in California asking for more than $45,000. A perfect repeat is coming with the Mini Cruiser. Now don't be so optimistic that because it's a Toyota, they'll have better dealer control. Be sober. This is the first compact SUV in years to have a separate chassis true four-wheel drive and Land Cruiser bloodline. How many people do you think are willing to spend on that legend? The answer, a lot. And dealers know it. They smell the profits halfway around the world. And if you're thinking, well, at that price, I'll just take the Toyota 4Runner, stop for a moment. The new 4Runner now starts at around $40,000. And that's just the lowest trim with rear-wheel drive, a hard plastic interior, and almost no driver assist technology. Want the TRD Pro or Limited? Get ready to shell out $52,000 to $55,000 before extras. And the all-new J250 Land Cruiser. It's beautiful, it's powerful, it's legendary. But it's $70,000 price tag or more if you want a special color or off-road package will make many people take 3 steps back. The Mini Cruiser in that context is a real strategic card. If the rumors are true, it has a multi-link rear suspension, a locking differential, a part-time drivetrain, nearly 230 millimeters of ground clearance, and a turbo 4-cylinder engine. Then the $28,000 to $32,000 price tag in the international market, after shipping taxes and dealer profits, will still be an unbeatable bargain. It could be the only true off-road SUV under $35,000, something that almost no other competitor on the market can do right now. No Jimny, no Bronco Sport, no Jeep Renegade or Compass would be able to compete if Toyota went all out with the Mini Cruiser. Let's put it bluntly, if Toyota keeps its word, the Mini Cruiser will be the most dangerous under-the-radar SUV of the decade. And you know what? Sometimes the scariest thing isn't a car that's too expensive. It's a car that's too cheap for what it offers. Toyota's thinking is not to create cars, but to create icons. Toyota doesn't need to try to be the center of attention. They've been there for decades. But what's remarkable is that they don't rest on their laurels. They didn't launch the Mini Land Cruiser for fun, but as a bold strategic move targeting the most dangerous gap on the global automotive map, a true small SUV capable of off-roading, in the truest sense, but still affordable for the majority of users. Just think about it. The current market is flooded with urban SUVs, crossovers pretending to be off-roaders only suitable for flat asphalt and supermarket parking lots. Models like the Hyundai Kona, Kia Seltos, or Peugeot 2008 all have a trendy, sleek exterior, but under that flashy shell is a fragile unibody platform, front-wheel drive, and ground clearance that is just enough to climb sidewalks. Meanwhile, the Toyota Mini Cruiser is taking the complete opposite path. They remove the show-off elements such as super large screens, multicolor ambient lights, or smart voice control. Instead, they invest in a real separate chassis, part-time 4WD locking differentials, high torsional body structure, and ground clearance that can approach 230 millimeters, equivalent to the old Land Cruiser. Therefore, in that context, the Suzuki Jimny, although loved to the point of being almost iconic, begins to show its weaknesses. With a 1.5-liter engine that only produces about 102 horsepower, a 4-speed automatic transmission, and an extremely simple interior, the Jimny looks more like a cute off-road toy than a real machine. And you can feel it when you go over a slippery slope or a rocky section. It tries its best, but it lacks the power to inspire absolute confidence. The Bronco Sport, an American model often compared to the Jimny and Mini Cruiser, is at the opposite extreme. It relies too much on software. The Bronco Sport's G08, go over. Any terrain system is impressive in marketing terms, but it works through complex electronic controls that require the electronics and sensors to work perfectly. A small software glitch in cold or wet conditions, and you can lose control of the powertrain completely. Toyota doesn't do that. They built the Mini Cruiser with a pure mechanical identity, something that true off-roaders crave: less technology, fewer things to break, and when they do, easy to fix. The 4WD system on the Mini Cruiser, although not officially announced, is expected to use the same part-time drive structure as on the Hilux or Land Cruiser Prado. This means you can manually engage or disengage the front axle, helping the car save fuel when not off-roading, but extremely grippy when it has to go through real terrain. And finally, the Mini Cruiser may not have a large touchscreen, no Android Automotive operating system, or 3-mode massage seats. But in return, it can climb mountains, wade through water, up to 700 millimeters, cross rocks, cross mud, cross deserts, and still come back intact. No rescue, no need to reset the central system. In a world where people are busy chasing convenience and technology, the Mini Cruiser appears as a strong reminder that a true off-road vehicle does not need to be luxurious. It needs to survive. And yes, that's why Toyota is not only making waves, it's resetting the entire benchmark for small SUVs around the world. So is this the best mini SUV out there? I know that's a big claim. But from what we know, from its Tacoma-like hybrid powertrain, rugged design, practical interior, and competitive pricing, the Mini Cruiser isn't just a small SUV, it's a knockout punch in the marketplace. What do you think? Does it beat the Jimny? Or is it just a marketing stunt? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.